Party Animal Quilting. I'm Debbie Brown. I have my center medallion, which is where we left off last week, and now I am trying to do some high contrast quilting here to make this pop out. So what I want to do is do 1 inch border here with that 12 weight glamour again, and then another one 1.5 inches out. And then I'm going to try to do another one 1 inch out from it, and then that outer border, so that I will have a 1 inch section, a 1.5 inch section, and a 1 inch section. Then I can do some quilting inside of the 1 inch, the 1.5, and the 1 inch to really give it some contrast between this border and the feather. For tonight's refreshments, I have some fresh baked banana bread with chocolate chips that my husband made this morning, and some ice cold Diet Dr. Pepper, because that's how I roll. The footwear of choice tonight is a pair of black booties. They're really comfortable, low heel, and are keeping me toasty warm on a single-digit degree day. Let's party! I finished stitching some of the straight lines going out into this border of the medallion. I have threaded my needle with a 50 weight cotton thread. My bobbin is still that 50 weight Deco Bob, and I've put in a size 90 needle. I want to quilt this area down, like down, 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 like solid down, so that the feathers really show that they're up by contrast. So I'm going to do some switchbacks in here. And I'm just going to stitch left to right, but I'm going to stitch them even closer than 1/4 inch together. Whoa, fast. Let's slow that down. This is when it is a good time to get a good book going in your ears, because you're not going to be going anywhere for a while. The closer together I quilt these, the flatter this fabric is, and the more that the feathers will stand out. Now that I'm at 1/4, I don't want to turn the corner by spiking out. What I'm going to do is stitch the switchbacks as if they're ending right here, as if there were a hard seam right there. And then I'll turn the corner and stitch that way. So I'm going to actually rotate the entire quilt. And continue stitching left to right. while I'm making a quilt, I am full of doubt, going, oh, I don't know if I like it. Did I make the right decisions? And I want to tell you about that because I'm sure you're the same way. And then I add a next part on it, and oh, I like that better, or no, I'm not sure about it. So this is making me very happy. I do love the texture of this being stitched down, and that lets this pop up. I'm ready to stitch this second area of the border. And what I have done is I've divided this side into 9 equal-ish parts, and I'm going to put swirls in it. It had to be an odd number because I want all of the swirls on the outside corners to end up with curves in them. So I divided it with a ruler and a chalk pencil. It doesn't have to be anything super fancy. Just give me a general guideline of where each swirl is going to be. So I'm going to stitch a swirl. And trace it badly. Back to the front. And back to what I consider the middle line. So I'm picturing each of these lines plus each of these lines dividing my space into blocks and then a midpoint of the border. Trace it back to where I started. Trace it back to that midpoint. Change direction. And here is where that odd number of blocks comes into play, because now my outer corner is going to be an outside curve. And now I can turn the quilt and continue down the next side. I am quite pleased with those swirls in here. And now I have one more border that I've stitched in. So I subdivided this area into 3 sections. So I think just to bookend this, I'm going to repeat what I did on this inner border out here, stitching with switchbacks and stitching that in here, and then I'll finish over stitching this pre-stitched in border with the 12 weight Glamour metallic thread. I am super excited with how this turned out. I love that most of the quilting of this has been done with plain red cotton thread. Just a little bit of that glamour in the straight quilting makes the whole thing look like it's metallic. That is a hint I am going to take into future projects. I also like how I have a lot of quilting here, less quilting here, less quilting in the feathers. So I'm getting that contrast I was looking for. And now I have a week until I have to decide what I want to do next. And I know that I want to do feathers in these squares here. So I have this square here. I got to figure out what that's going to look like. But I'm very pleased. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any quilty goodness.